All right, welcome gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about lesson number 2, complex numbers and unit rates. So what is a complex, let me try this again. I said complex numbers. We're talking about complex fractions and unit rates. What is a complex fraction? Complex fractions are fractions with a numerator, denominator, or both that are also fractions. So what does that look like? That looks like 3/4 divided by 1/2. It looks like 10 over 15 divided by 2. It looks like 3 over 1/2. So that's what a complex fraction looks like. How are we going to divide fractions today? Because we know that fractions are just division problems, and if I have division problems over division problems, well then it's more just division. So how do you divide fractions? You don't. You keep the top or the first the same, change from division to multiplication, and change the second or the bottom fraction into its multiplicative inverse. And you're like, what on earth is that thing? Well, the multiplicative inverse, the reason I use that word is because they want you to know it in the algebra standard. And remember, the goal is to get you to be taking algebra in 8th grade. So we're long-term goal here. So multiplicative inverse is just the flipped fraction. That's all that means. I'll show you. Okay, so what we're going to do with these is we're going to simplify these. So right now I have 1/4 divided by 2, and we know 2 is 2 over 1. So far all I've done is take my problem and rewrite it. So I keep the first one the same. I change into multiplication, and these guys are going to flip spots. So this turns into 1 over 2. And then I multiply fractions, and some of us forget what that looks like, so bubble over here. That's top times top over bottom times bottom. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 2 is 8. So my answer. Okay, thanks, computer. So my answer is 1 over 8. I have 1 over 1 on top divided by 1/2. So 1 over 1 stays the same, turns that into multiplication. This guy flips. He becomes 2 over 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 over 1 is just simply 2. All right, so we've got 2 over 1 divided by 2 over 3. So 2 over 1 stays. Change that second one into 3 over 2. Something I want to show you guys is notice how there's a 2 on top here. I gotta get my mouse. There's a 2 on top here, and there's a 2 on bottom here. I can start by dividing out that factor of 2 and getting 1. And so I could say my answer is 3 over 1 or 3. Or I could go back to the original problem. Take top times top, which is 6, bottom times bottom, which is 2, and take 6 divided by 2, which is 3. You still get to the same answer. They're just different ways. You take a little less time by dividing out first, because when you work with smaller numbers and there's less reduction, it helps you also when you get numbers that you're like, I don't know what these multiply into or what goes into them. It's easier to just do it to start with. I usually do I think it makes the problems easier because I don't have to think, okay, what could go into both numbers then? I can already see it. Next one, we have 6 over 1 divided by 1/3. 6 over 1 is going to stay. Then I change this into 3 over 1. And then I top times top, which is 18. 1 times 1, which is 1. So my answer is 18. Okay, there are 2 problems on this slide, and I know you can't see the second one, so I'm going to move it up. I would like you to pause the video and work on both of these on your own. And again, if you don't agree, let me know. If you guys don't agree with those answers, let me know, and we'll have a discussion. Next, we're going to talk about unit rates. We've seen what a unit rate is, just simplifying things down with a denominator of 1. So Josiah can jog 1 1/3 miles in 1/4 of an hour. Find his average speed in miles per hour. So one of the things I noticed you guys were struggling with was what came first. So miles per hour. So miles goes on top, hour goes on bottom. And I notice my miles are currently in a mixed number, so I need to change that. So 1 1/3 is equal to, you take 1 times 3, the whole number times the denominator, which is 3, plus the numerator, which gives me 4, and the denominator stays the same. So I have 4/3 divided by 1/4, which is the same as saying 4 over 3 divided by 1 over 4, which is the same thing as saying 4 over 3 times 4 over 1. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 can go into 16 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15, so then there's 1 left. So 5 1/3 miles per hour. And again, we have to go back and make sure we read that question. That's why it says miles per hour. Tia is painting her house. She paints 34 and 1/half square feet in 3/4 of an hour. At this rate, how many square feet can she paint each hour? So again, I have to turn my mixed number into a improper fraction. So 34 times 2 is 68, plus 1 more is 69. So I have 69 over 2 over 3/4. Which is 69 over 2 times 4 over 3. This is cool because I can reduce on both parts. I can divide both by 2 here. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And I can divide 69 by 3. This will give me 9 divided by 3. 3 and 23. And this will give me 1. So then I can take 23 times 2, which is 46. And 1 times 1 is just going to be 1. So it's 46 square feet per hour. That's kind of a lot. My cat's drinking out its water bowl, and I was really confused as to what that sound was. Okay, well, this is our last one we're going to do together, and then you're going to have the next 2 on your own. So really, really, really focus on this, gentlemen. All right, Mr. Ito is spreading mulch in his yard. He spreads 4 2/3 square yards in 2 hours. How many square yards can he mulch? I had a bit of an oops there, but I can't fix it. It's just a picture. So how much can he mulch in 1 hour? All right, so we have 4 2/3, which is 12 plus 2, which is 14 over 3. So I'm taking his square footage divided by the amount of hours. So I have 14 over 3 divided by 2 over 1. And we know we don't divide. We keep the first one the same. Change the multiplication and flip the fraction. I look to see if I can cross divide, and I see that I can. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Cannot cross divide the other way. So I see 7 times 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 can go to 7 2 times, and there's one guy left over. So 2 1/3. And this is square yards per hour. All right, here's your first practice problem. So pause video. Hopefully you get 3 miles per hour. And here's your second practice problem. Oh wait, I'm just kidding. Oh, we need to talk about this one. Wasn't thinking. So we're going to do this one together because it's slightly different, so you guys won't get confused. On Joaquin's soccer team, about 33 1/3% of players have scored a goal. Right, 33 1/3% as a fraction in simplest form. First things first is we need to take this mixed number and turn it into an improper fraction. So 33 times 3 is 99, plus 1 more is 100. Whenever I deal with percentages, I always divide by 100 because my total that I have of something is always 100%. So I have 100 over 3 divided by 100. So I have 100 over 3 divided by 100 over 1. And we know we do not divide fractions. We keep the first one the same, change the multiplication, and flip the fraction. And then we see, woohoo, we have 100 on top and bottom, which both turns into 1. So I have 1 over 3. So 1/3% of his soccer team, or 1/3 of his soccer teammates, have scored a goal, and my cat wants me to play. All right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Here you can see Captain Booger. Come here, Booger. He doesn't want to come on camera. Sorry, guys.